99 Speed Rebirth, Outran Bolt to Football Glory. Welcome funds. Enjoy exclusive audiobook experiences right here. For full access to complete stories, visit my website or support me on Patreon, links are in the description. Episode 31 The live broadcast room exploded. Under Montella's easing, the conflict between Shi Xiaoyu and Quadella ended temporarily, and the two returned to training. Li Wen recorded the whole process with her mobile phone. In her personal live broadcast room, show it to the Waxia fans who follow him. Li Wen is not a big V, even though she is backed by the World Soccer platform, she only has 1,000 or 2,000 fans. However, following this live broadcast, the number of people in her live broadcast room skyrocketed, and in an instant, the number of fans rose to 50,000. Barrage poured out of the live broadcast room. I'll go. We Waxia, when did such a young forward sign a contract with Viola in Serie A? Violet? Isn't that Florence? I know, my father's generation started watching Serie A. Fiorentina's most famous star is the Argentine Batistuta. He can shoot hard. Ha ha ha, is Shi Xiaoyu going to inherit Batistuta's mantle? You guys are going too far. The anchor said that she is only 18 years old. It is not certain whether she can play the main force. This is the only player in Daxia who plays in the 5 major leagues, the only one. At this time, Li Wen turned the camera around, and her little face with exquisite makeup was reflected in the camera. Hello, audience friends, I am Li Wen, an off-court reporter of the World Football Column. I am in Florence, Italy, and I will bring you the first live broadcast. Wow, what a beautiful female anchor. Why haven't I seen it before? Finally, I don't have to look at the underpants anymore. World Soccer, we want to watch beautiful women. I propose to let this beauty and underpants host the World Soccer program together. Li Wen looked at the barrage, a little dumbfounded. Oh, I'm just an intern reporter, how can I compare with Teacher Duan? Everyone should pay attention to this training match. Did you see it? Shi Xiaoyu, I almost got into a fight with Quadella just now. Li Wen changed the subject and shifted everyone's attention to the conflict between Quadella and Shi Xiaoyu. I saw it, it seems that after Shi Xiaoyu tackled the ball, he boasted that Della was a little unhappy, so the two quarreled. That tackle is fine, it's very standard, with your feet on the ground. It didn't hurt Quadella, why did he react so much? I think, Quadella didn't pay attention to Shi Xiaoyu at all. Under the eyes of everyone, he was guarded by a young player who was just promoted, so he was naturally upset. No matter how upset you are, you can't pinch your teammates like this. This is a teammate, not an opponent. Isn't this clearly bullying our Waxia players? Everyone was filled with righteous indignation, pointing their finger at Quadella one after another. Li Wen turned the camera to the court again. At this time, the training was over, and everyone went back to the locker room to take a shower. Under the bright sunshine in Florence, Li Wen's sweet narration sounded again. Dear viewers, during this period of time, I will focus on Shi Xiaoyu, a player from Daxia. Please follow me if you pass by, and don't miss my live broadcast of Shi Xiaoyu. This wave of begging for attention caused Li Wen's number of fans to rise again, breaking through 100,000. Others sent planes and rockets. The words of blessing were slapped on the screen. Li Wen was very happy in her heart, she didn't expect that there would be unexpected harvest in this live broadcast. With the prepared questions, she waited for Shi Xiaoyu outside the training ground. Li Wen is not polite, the first sentence is straight to the point. Shi Xiaoyu, regarding the conflict between you and Quadella on the training ground, do you think he intentionally bullied our Waxia players? Li Wen wants to mobilize Shi Xiaoyu's emotions. In her imagination, Shi Xiaoyu should be furious at Quadella. Unexpectedly, Shi Xiaoyu just smiled faintly, waved his hands and said, "It's nothing, everyone on the training ground is very serious, and some movements are normal. We talked in the locker room just now. We are all friends. We will have to help each other in training. He is an old player. There is still a lot to learn from him." Li Wen looked at the back of Shi Xiaoyu going away, and said silently in his heart, "I didn't expect him to be so magnanimous." In fact, Shi Xiaoyu and Quadella didn't say a word after training. After this turmoil, Shi Xiaoyu and Quadella probably got married during the subsequent summer training time. However, the other members of the team understood Shi Xiaoyu's true strength. In particular, several old players headed by Tony were full of praise for Xiaoyu's speed and passing ability in training. They even believe that the young Shi Xiaoyu is enough to compete with Quadella for a main spot on the right winger. So is Montella's idea. When Montella was a player, he was good at agility and passing. He admired Shi Xiaoyu's type of player very much. Even in his opinion, the conflict between Shi Xiaoyu and Quadella is not a bad thing. For an above-average team like Fiorentina, there is no worry about relegation in the new season. But if you want to make another leap forward and enter the Europa League or even the Champions League, you have to jump enough to get the fruit. As for Shi Xiaoyu and Kuadela, the more intense the competition between these two people is, the better it is for them to improve their respective levels in the competition. This is a good thing for the team. Readers and friends, please read in. Dear readers and friends, Lao Huo has already written half of it before it goes on the shelves. The follow-up pace will be accelerated. Shi Xiaoyu will show his demeanor of a fast horse on the wing in Serie A. With all kinds of skills pouring out, Shi Xiaoyu will become the top player on the offensive line in Serie A. This book has been written until now. Your support is very important. Please give Lao Huo Wower a review ticket and collect it. Don't be stingy with your support. Because of your support, Lao Huo is the motivation to write down. Thanks again Lao Hu. Dear readers and friends, Lao Huo has already written half of it before it goes on the shelves. The follow-up pace will be accelerated. Shi Xiaoyu will show his demeanor of a fast horse on the wing in Serie A. With all kinds of skills pouring out, Shi Xiaoyu will become the top player on the offensive line in Serie A. This book has been written until now. Your support is very important. Please give Lao Huo Wower a review ticket and collect it. Don't be stingy with your support. Because of your support, Lao Huo is the motivation to write down. Thanks again Lao Hu. Dear readers and friends, Lao Huo has already written half of it before it goes on the shelves. The follow-up pace will be accelerated. Shi Xiaoyu will show his demeanor of a fast horse on the wing in Serie A. With all kinds of skills pouring out, Shi Xiaoyu will become the top player on the offensive line in Serie A. This book has been written until now. Your support is very important. Please give Lao Huo Wower a review ticket and collect it. Don't be stingy with your support. Because of your support, Lao Huo is the motivation to write down. Thanks again Lao Hu. Dear readers and friends, Lao Huo has already written half of it before it goes on the shelves. The follow-up pace will be accelerated. Shi Xiaoyu will show his demeanor of a fast horse on the wing in Serie A. With all kinds of skills pouring out, Shi Xiaoyu will become the top player on the offensive line in Serie A. This book has been written until now. Your support is very important. Please give Lao Huo Wower a review ticket and collect it. Don't be stingy with your support. Because of your support, Lao Huo is the motivation to write down. Thanks again Lao Hu. Dear readers and friends, Lao Huo has already written half of it before it goes on the shelves. The follow-up pace will be accelerated. Shi Xiaoyu will show his demeanor of a fast horse on the wing in Serie A. With all kinds of skills pouring out, Shi Xiaoyu will become the top player on the offensive line in Serie A. This book has been written until now. Your support is very important. Please give Lao Huo Wower a review ticket and collect it. Don't be stingy with your support. Because of your support, Lao Huo is the motivation to write down. Thanks again Lao Hu. Dear readers and friends, Lao Huo has already written half of it before it goes on the shelves. The follow-up pace will be accelerated. Shi Xiaoyu will show his demeanor of a fast horse on the wing in Serie A. With all kinds of skills pouring out, Shi Xiaoyu will become the top player on the offensive line in Serie A. This book has been written until now. Your support is very important. Please give Lao Huo Wower a review ticket and collect it. Don't be stingy with your support. Because of your support, Lao Huo is the motivation to write down. Thanks again Lao Hu. Episode 32 Responding to the Crisis, Shi Xiaoyu debuts. The short summer training is over, and the first game of the new season is about to begin. Fiorentina vs Udinese. Udinese's coach Guidolin is a veteran Serie A coach known as Serie A Xiaoyu. From the nickname given to him by the fans, it can be seen that this old coach has rich experience and is very good at tactical operations and on-the-spot adjustments. In the first game, Montella had to face such a veteran in Serie A, and he felt the pressure doubled. Udinese is not weak, especially their veteran striker Di Natale, who is a super player who can score 20 goals in a season. 43,000 people poured into the Franchi Stadium, and there were no seats left. The fans cheered and turned the stadium into a sea of purple. In the first game, to be on the safe side, Montella let Shi Xiaoyu serve as a substitute player and placed Quadella as the main right winger. In this game, Montella adhered to a self-centered attitude and adopted a pass and control tactic at the beginning to firmly control the ball at his feet. The players followed the head coach's tactical deployment, constantly passing back and forth in the midfield, passing left and right, pulling the opponent's formation apart, and looking for gaps. Soon, the Peruvian veteran Pizarro discovered that the opponent's two central defenders were too far away from each other, and there was a huge vacuum. Veteran Tony lay in ambush, raised his eyes and looked at Pizarro, and immediately understood. Tony, who was free in offside training, suddenly took away the close-fitting central defender with an anti-retracement, and then ran in the opposite direction to accelerate, and Piquero's pass responded. Facing a one-handed goal, Tony, the European Golden Boot, did not hesitate. With a slight push of the arch of his foot, the ball passed under the goalkeeper's armpit and rolled into the goal. Fiorentina leads Udinese 1-0. The 40,000 home fans at the Frankie Stadium stood up and cheered, and the applause even caused a small earthquake. It was the first time for Shi Xiaoyu to watch the football under such a big scene, and his heart beat instantly, waving his arms with the fans. Boys, calm down. Continue to implement ball possession tactics and conduct delicately. Montella smiled and pressed his hand down, signaling the players not to get too excited, but to keep calm. On Udinese's side, Coach Guidelin's face showed no loss of conceding the ball. He touched his unshaven chin, covered his mouth, and kept communicating with the assistant coaches around him about the situation on the field. Catalan is a little juge in Serie A. Before the game, he watched the video of no less than 10 matches of Fiorentina, and carefully analyzed the characteristics of each player. Udinese are under tremendous pressure, but Fiorentina are by no means invulnerable. The weakness is the left-back Bisto. Bisto is 1.88 meters tall and weighs 89 kilograms. Although he is strong, his steps are clumsy. The frontal defense is okay. Once he falls into the chase of the ball behind him, his slow pace will expose his disadvantage of slow speed. Taking advantage of a throw-in gap, Guidelin called Di Natale to his side. You have to go back and forth between their left-back Bisto, looking for opportunities. Once there is a chance, our midfielder will give you a through ball from the wing. Don't hesitate to get the ball and shoot. Under the execution of Di Natale, Guidelin's tactics quickly achieved results. The Udinese team steals the ball from the backcourt, and the side player sticks to the ground in the backcourt. Di Natale immediately interspersed behind Bisto to get the ball. Seeing that he lost his position, Bisto relied on his long legs and ran back desperately, trying to intercept Di Natale. The moment he stretched his legs to reach the ball, he thought he was about to steal the ball. Tale suddenly made a half-turn and dunked the ball, passing Bisto. Seeing that Bisto was passed, the central defender of Udinese was forced to run out of his original defensive area to fill his position. It's a pity that Di Natale and his teammates had a simple 2-1, and then passed the central defender. The unguarded Di Natale advanced to the penalty area line and volleyed the ball straight to the upper right corner of the goal. Well done. Guidelin clenched his fists and shouted. He pulled back the brim of his hat, gave Montella a smug look, and thought, hey, you're still young when you fight me. Since then, the game has entered an anxious period. Fiorentina was afraid of Di Natale's ability to control the ball and interspersed, so they didn't dare to rush forward. Udinese focused on marking the veteran midfielder Pizarro, forward Toni and Quadrado on the right, focusing on defense and focusing on defensive counterattacks. The character is impatient and praises Della a lot, but he falls into personal heroism. Even in the face of the 3 or 4 opponents of the Bao family, he still forced a breakthrough, was repeatedly intercepted, and even several balls were counterattacked by the opponent, almost conceding the ball because of this. Montella stomped his feet anxiously on the field. I want you to break through, I don't want you to rush like a fool, you should cooperate with your teammates. The anxious scene continued until the 80th minute of the game. For Udinese, in the first away game of the new season, it is acceptable to score a point against the strong team Fiorentina. So Guidelin did not make tactical adjustments. But Montella couldn't sit still. The paper strength of the team is therefore higher than that of Udinese. In the first game of the new season, he must grab points and strive to start a new season for the team. Montella looked at Shi Xiaoyu, who was warming up on the sidelines. Shi, you went on stage to praise Della a lot. Quadrado was stared at very hard and hardly played. Toni couldn't get a pass in the penalty area. After you play, you have to work hard to create opportunities to break through, get close to Toni, and pass the ball into the small penalty area. Shi Xiaoyu nodded solemnly. The 4th official held up the substitution card. Shi Xiaoyu's eyes were full of light. The first game of the new season, here I come. Episode 33 Substitute, Kill the Savior. Sky Sport Italia broadcast the match. The commentator Gary is an experienced commentator, and he is also a die-hard Fiorentina fan. Montella will replace Quadrado. Who will he replace? Haha, this is player number 24 Shi Xiaoyu, a player from Daxia. For Shi Xiaoyu's playing, Gary was very excited. Friends in the audience, do you still remember that in 12 years ago, there was also a Huxia player who came to Serie A? That's Ma Mingyu from Perugia. However, Ma Mingyu is obviously very unlucky. Although he wore the number 9 jersey, which symbolizes the main players, he didn't play a game. After a year, he returned to Daxia. 12 years have passed in a blink of an eye. Now let us see how Shi Xiaoyu from Waxia performed in the Fiorentina team. Gary speaks extremely fast, and has all kinds of historical data. Not only does he have an amazing memory, but he has also made sufficient preparations. The Fiorentina team still insisted on passing, and the ball came to the right of Shi Xiaoyu. The Udinese team, who insisted on playing defensive counterattacks throughout the game, was a little tired at this time because it was an away game. Due to physical problems, their left back did not move well to the right. Shi Xiaoyu faced a large open area in front of him. This is a great opportunity for Shi Xiaoyu. Hurry up and push the ball forward, Shi Xiaoyu. Gary was a little excited, slapping the table and shouting. However, Shi Xiaoyu in the broadcast footage did not start in a hurry, but ran with the ball at a constant speed, slowly approaching the defender. At this time, Udinese's midfielder also approached, and Shi Xiaoyu was about to fall into a double team. Oh, Shi didn't break through quickly, wasting this good opportunity. It seems that the young player's ability to read the game on the court is still a little insufficient. If it's because of Della's presence, he probably would have made a cross from the right. Gary sighed. It seems that this attack opportunity is gone. But unexpectedly, Shi Xiaoyu came when the two players got close. With a flick of the right foot to the left, a nimble inward cut passed through the middle of the two double teams like a loach. Wow, that's incredible. What does he want to do? Gary's eyes widened. Shi Xiaoyu's trick is really a chicken thief. He knew that even if he forcibly passed the left back with his speed, the added midfielder would get stuck and block his passing line. It's better to wait for the two team members to approach and pass them all. After passing the fullback and midfielder, Shi Xiaoyu continued to cut inside and reach the top of the arc of the penalty area. Tony, who was waiting for the ball at this position, understood it and ran in the opposite direction to the right. Swap with Shi Xiaoyu. Although it was the first time for the two of them to play as partners in an official game, outstanding players often understood each other in this way, because the language of football is the same. The moment Tony was about to cross the defensive line, Shi Xiaoyu swiped and passed the ball through the gap to Tony's feet. Tony confronts the goalkeeper. All the diehard fans in the north stand stood up. Their hearts were beating so loudly that they had already jumped to their throats. Tony slowed down, adjusted his pace, raised his bow and set an arrow, and volleyed, trying to hit the goalkeeper's lower right corner. The goalkeeper stands at a good angle, predicts the off-goal shot, and quickly goes down to the ground to save the ball. I didn't seize such a good opportunity. What a pity, what a pity. FK, my grandma can score this goal too. The fans in the north stand hugged their heads and shouted. The goalkeeper just reached the ball with his fingertips, and the ball didn't go very far. The ball rolls to the bottom line. Just when everyone thought they were going out of bounds, Shi Xiaoyu jumped out of the crowd like a rabbit. A sliding tackle scoops the ball into the goal. He has a nice follow-up shot. Oh my god, Shi Xiaoyu's speed is extremely fast, his sense of smell in front of the door is too keen. Gary stood up. Although he is over 60 years old, his love for football can still make him jump up and down, and he is very excited. Friends in the audience, this is a law. The game time has reached 89 minutes. This is a law. All the fans at the Frankie Stadium cheered. This time the earthquake was so big that it almost knocked all the players on the field upside down. As the saying goes, laymen watch the excitement, and experts watch the way. Montella saw it clearly off the court. The moment Tony shot, Shi Xiaoyu didn't stand still and wait to see the goal like other players. Instead, they accelerate and start at the same time in an instant, looking for shooting opportunities. Opportunities are always given to those who are well prepared. This supplementary goal is the best reward for his sense of smell. Episode 34 18-year-old's ultimate football experience. Shi Xiaoyu, who scored a goal, undressed excitedly to celebrate. He tore off the jersey and twirled it in his hand. Run to the north stand, in front of tens of thousands of fans, and throw the jersey into the sky. The pure purple number 24 jersey looks even brighter under the golden sunlight. This is a teenager's dream for years. This is also the ultimate football experience for a middle-aged person who travels back to the age of 18. Him, Shi Xiaoyu, a player from Daxia, scored a goal in Serie A. This is the pride of Shi Xiaoyu and the football legend at Daxia. This law will take 3 points for the Fiorentina team. They won. Teammates ran over one after another and pressed Shi Xiaoyu under him. Especially the veteran Tony, even though he had been running for more than 80 minutes, he still panted and ran to Shi Xiaoyu's side, and threw him to the ground. Nice job, kid, Tony slobbered and roared loudly. The hot sweat dripping from his teammates made Shi Xiaoyu so hot that he couldn't breathe. And the smell of grass and earth on the green field came to Shi Xiaoyu's mind. Everything is so unreal. Everything is so beautiful again. According to the rules, after Shi Xiaoyu put on his jersey, the referee gave him a yellow card. Since 2004, FIFA has stipulated that when a player celebrates on the court, if he takes off his jersey or raises his jersey above his chest, he will be given a yellow card warning. Shi Xiaoyu knew this rule, but he came off the bench in the first game and made a law for the team. He was so excited that he didn't care about the yellow card. One whistle, the game is over. With Shi Xiaoyu's goal in the 89th minute, Fiorentina beat Udinese 2-1 at home. After the game, Montella shook hands with G*****Linlin. Congratulations, Montella. Our tactical arrangement was very good in this game, but your new winger is really agile. It's a pity that we didn't hold it. Haha, to tell you the truth, that kid was a surprise, and I didn't expect it either. Okay, then we will see you in the second half of the confrontation. The match between Fiorentina and Udinese was not broadcast in Daxia. Although there are many fans in Daxia watching Serie A, after Inter Milan won the Triple Crown in 2010, Serie A began to decline. More and more new fans and friends are setting their sights on the great opening and closing of the Premier League and the star-studded La Liga. Even though AATV broadcasts Serie A games, it mainly focuses on strong teams such as Inter Milan, AC Milan and Juventus. After all, they have a large fan base, and broadcasting the games of these teams will help increase the ratings. However, as Daxia's national player Shi Xiaoyu gave a wonderful lure to Daxia in the first game, the domestic fans have exploded. Is there something wrong with AATV? Our country's overseas players score goals, and they don't broadcast it. What's the point of always broadcasting those strong teams? No matter how well they play, it's not our country's players who are playing. The match between Fiorentina and Udinese starts at 9:30 p.m. Beijing time. If I remember correctly, AATV5 is broadcasting the curling match at this time. What the hell, I'd rather broadcast curling, or even replays of the World Table Tennis Championships 2 years ago, than broadcast such an important football match. It's no wonder that football games can't be done. If you ignore such a big star, you can only watch those soft sports. I'm going to send a private message to AATV on Weibo, strongly requesting that Fiorentina matches will be broadcast throughout the season. From today onwards, I am a die-hard Fiorentina fan. Yes, we are all die-hard Fiorentina fans for 20 years. After a while, the private messages on the AATV channel on Weibo have exploded. The pressure on the program group has doubled, and they decided to temporarily add an interview with Shi Xiaoyu to the World Football program that will be broadcast next Monday. At this time, Li Wen made a long-distance call to the producer's office of the World Soccer program. Leader, don't worry, I have been following Shi Xiaoyu for several weeks. I have a lot of interview materials and video materials of him. After the game, I even did a short interview with him. I have already edited tomorrow and evening's World Football column, and I can use it now. The World Soccer column team immediately posted an announcement on Weibo. Fans and friends, please pay attention to the World Football program broadcast at 7:30 tomorrow night. In this issue, we will have a 1-hour interview with Shi Xiaoyu, a Huxia player who is playing in Florence. Since 2000, it is the first time for Huxia players to land in Serie A. Audience friends, please tell each other, don't miss it. In just 1 hour, this Weibo has over 10,000 comments. Reposted more than 500,000 times. I had to work overtime on Monday, but for Shi Xiaoyu's interview, I won't work overtime even if I resign. What overtime work? Take your boss to watch. This is a must-see. I watch World Football every night. From the age of 10 to the age of 20, I look forward to it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will take my wife and children to watch with my father and family. What is the life of our Huxia players in Italy like? Tomorrow night at 7:30, see you all. Episode 35. Do you still remember the familiar World Soccer? Monday, Beijing time, 7:28 p.m., in an office building in the imperial capital of Waxia Kingdom. Zhang Chen sat in front of the computer, looking at the colorful Excel spreadsheets on the screen, feeling extremely anxious. It's not because the work can't be done, but World Soccer will start broadcasting soon. In order to go back to watch World Football early today, he arrived at the company before 8 o'clock in the morning. There is no lunch break, but desperately trying to catch up with the progress, just to finish the work ahead of time and go home to watch TV. It's just that at this moment, in his group, there are 4 other people like him staring at the screen in a daze. Oh, it seems that I have to work overtime again tonight, I can't watch World Soccer anymore. The colleague murmured softly. Zhang Chen cautiously glanced at the general manager's office and turned on his phone to watch AATV5. I can't miss it tonight. Shi Xiaoyu from Waxia has made his debut in the Fiorentina team. It is said that there will be a special report on him today. Zhang Chen pressed the phone under a book, and pretended to be looking at the computer while scanning the phone with his peripheral vision. The familiar melody of the World Football column sounded again. As an Iron fan, from 2002 to 2012, he watched the World Football column for 10 years. Especially before 2010, smartphones were not yet popular, and the internet industry was underdeveloped. Smartphones can learn about the European football developments in the past week through newspapers and TV. Zhang Chen can even recite those familiar clips in the World Soccer column backwards. The 32-year-old Henry sat there, looking at the past affectionately. All of them were his 22-year-old shadow. 380 games, 226 goals, 4 Premier League Golden Boots, 2 Premier League trophies, 49 unbeaten games. The most in history, the best shooter, the last battle at Highbury, the last kiss at Highbury. When the fireworks rise, the era of Highbury King who once belonged to Henry will not pass away with the years, but only in the drifting of the years always remember. Zhang Chen is exactly 32 years old this year. From 10 years ago, an ignorant teenager who just graduated has grown into a 996 urban worker with a mortgage on his back. He started his own family and has a 3-year-old daughter. Due to the heavy burden of work, he has not played football for 10 years. As Henry bids farewell to his final game at Highbury, Zhang Chen also bid farewell to his youth. Suddenly, he felt a black shadow behind him. Not good. He turned his head quickly, and saw the general manager Li Ming, with his hands behind his back, staring at him with death. Ha ha, President Li. Zhang Chen smiled awkwardly, pretending to turn off the phone screen with an inadvertent action. He knew that his behavior of secretly watching the game during working hours was discovered by the leader. He thought Li Ming was about to throw a tantrum, but unexpectedly Li Ming showed a faint smile. It's World Soccer, right? Yes, leader, do you like watching it too? A bold colleague next to him echoed. It's not just because I like to watch it. By the way, when I played football when I was young, you were not even born yet. Li Ming has a big belly. At the age of 50, he has left obvious traces of time on his body. It is said that Shi Xiaoyu from Daxia has made his debut in Serie A. I guess there will be reports about him tonight. How about this, turn on the projector in the meeting room, let's watch it together tonight, cheer for Shi Xiaoyu. Xiao Wang, I'll give you 200 yuan to buy some flavored shrimp and beer for everyone, let's have fun together and relax. Xiao Wang took the 200 yuan and ran downstairs with a beep. In 2012, takeaway was not popular yet, so he had to go downstairs to buy it, and it took a while to 20 minutes, so he had to watch the football when he bought it quickly. What are you all still doing in a daze? Go to the conference room quickly, it has already started. Okay, thank you, Mr. Li. I'm going to turn on the projection in the meeting room. Everyone booed and walked to the meeting room with Li Ming. At 8 o'clock in the evening, in a certain park of the imperial capital, there are countless office buildings with bright windows. But only in the room Zhang Chen was in, the green lawn flickered on the projector screen. Dad, can I watch TV for a while tonight before doing my homework? Du Hao, who is 9 years old, looks like a little bean sprout with a watermelon scalp. He anxiously brought the homework book in front of his father. Du Feng sat slumped on the sofa without raising his head. You forgot what Mum told you, do your homework first, then watch TV. Du Hao hesitated for a while, then whispered, but, tonight, I want to watch World Soccer for 20 minutes. Du Feng's eyelids twitched when he heard the 4 words football in the world. Football? When did you like watching football? Don't you like playing basketball? Father, I actually like playing football, but my mother told me that playing football is easy to get injured, and playing basketball can also help you grow taller, so my mother forbids me to play football, and only lets me play basketball at school. Dad, although I can't play football, I heard from my classmates that there is a program called World Football tonight, and there is a little big brother who is very good in our country. It is said that he is playing football in a foreign country. After hearing this, Du Feng let out a long sigh. Why doesn't he know that tonight, World Football has an exclusive interview with Shi Xiaoyu? It's just that this henpecked man was repeatedly told by the tigress not to turn on the TV when his son was doing homework. He can only bear it. Du Feng thought about it for a while. At this moment, his wife is doing manicures in the nail salon with her best friend, and she won't be back for a while. He stroked his son's head. Son, Dad has discussed with you, I can let you watch World Football for an hour tonight, Dad will watch it with you. Great, Daddy is so kind, I love Daddy. Du Hao clapped his hands happily. However, when your mother comes back, you must not tell her about this, or you will be spanked. And you can only watch it for an hour, and do your homework immediately after watching it, you hear me? Understood, thank you Dad. I will definitely finish my homework before Mum comes home. Du Feng turned on the TV and saw Duan Pan's familiar face. Friends in the audience, welcome to tonight's World Football program, I am the host Duan. Du Feng made a cup of wolfberry tea and watched TV with his son. He looked at his son's round head, and fell into deep thought for a moment. When my son was so old, I had almost no homework every day. After school, I would put 2 school bags on the concrete floor with my classmates and play football happily. He thought of his middle school career. In order to win the happiness of the girls in the same class, he went crazy to grab the ball in the grade football game. As a result, he kicked an own goal, and the girls in the same class thought he had scored, and cheered and applauded for him. He remembered that when he was in college, he was the main player of the college team, known as Inzaghi of the Chemical Engineering College, and even won the top scorer in the campus league. The top scorer trophy that year has been cherished by him since graduation. It's a pity that when I moved 3 years ago, I was careless and was thrown away by my wife as trash. For this matter, this nearly 40-year-old man was crying in bed alone in the middle of the night. He remembered a sentence in World Football. Time suddenly starts to speed up after the age of 30, and you don't know when you should cherish it. Time will slip away from you. Episode 36. A flash of Asian lightning flashed across the sky of Florence. Since World Soccer started broadcasting in 2000, it has become the memory of a generation. The host, Guan Xuan, has become an internet celebrity host. The lights in the studio are shining, and the temperature is very high. But in order to maintain a good image of the death scene, Guan Xuan had to put on a neat suit and tie. However, Guan Xuan is sitting and hosting the show, and the camera can only capture his upper body, so the director can't control what he wears on the lower body. One time, Guan Xuan's lower body was captured inadvertently in the live broadcast, and for some reason, he was wearing a pair of big underpants. Suits and pants, the wonderful contrast, made the audience friends in front of the TV screen can't help laughing. The cute nickname Adwan Pants comes from this. Viewers, welcome to World Football. I am your old friend Guan Xuan. First of all, let's turn our attention to Europe and pay attention to the situation of the 5 major leagues. In the first round of the new season, the Giants still maintained a strong momentum. In the Barcelona home game, Messi scored twice and helped the team beat Real Sociedad 5-1. Let's watch the highlights. Quote, as always, at the beginning of World Football, let's review the situation of the top 5 European League giants. It's just that the playback time of the recording and clipping this time is not long. Guan Xuan changed the subject. Next, let's set our sights on Daxia's football star, Shi Xiaoyu. This 18-year-old player has never received professional football training before. He is just a player of the Waxia University team. In a cross-border football-friendly match with the University of Milan, Shi Xiaoyu, who performed well, was accidentally spotted by the scouts of the Fiorentina team. What is going on? The TV screen switched, and Shi Xiaoyu appeared in the match between the Milan University team. This precious clip comes from Li Wen, an intern reporter of the World Soccer column. Through untold hardships, she got the surveillance in the football stadium of the University of Milan. I saw that after Shi Xiaoyu came on the field, he caught the ball from the wing and used his signature brutality. He passed 3 people in a row and assisted the player from the University of Milan who went forward to score. Then he showed the wonderful picture of him going to the meeting alone, picking the ball past the goalkeeper, and finally hitting an empty goal. Friends in the audience, although this is just an amateur game between school teams, 18-year-old Shi Xiaoyu has already shown a perfect performance that is almost professional. That's exactly why scouts picked him up. It was this wonderful adventure that caused Shi Xiaoyu to come to Florence by accident and accept trial training. At this time, the camera switches slowly, and with the sound of the shuttle of the train, the camera flies across the endless fields and arrives at the city of Florence. Under the wonderful editing of the director, Florence, the birthplace of the European Renaissance, is perfectly displayed in front of the audience friends. On the quaint and clean slate streets, on the top of the magnificent church, a group of white pigeons fly by, one after another, creating a quiet and peaceful beauty under the blue sky. Florence, in this 2,000-year-old city, has bred countless great Italian and even European artists. This is the capital of Tuscany, Italy, and a world-famous cultural tourist destination. The Fiorentina team is also a strong team in the Italian Serie A. Although it cannot compete with the traditional top 3 in the north, Viola occupies an important position in Italian football with its beautiful style of play and fanatical fans. Guan Xuan used his unique magnetic voice to bring the audience friends in front of the TV into the football culture of Florence, Italy. This is a romantic city, and the football they play is also extremely romantic. When we talked about Florence in the past, we always mentioned Batistuta, the god of war. In Serie A in the 1990s, his violent shots brought too many good memories to countless Huxia fans. But now, our Waxia player Shi Xiaoyu has joined the team. Can he start a legendary career of his own in Florence? Switch to Shi Xiaoyu training at Frankie Stadium. Shi Xiaoyu is wearing a purple training suit and is doing long pass practice with his teammates. His body was very stretched, and he passed the ball accurately and made a few volleys back, which even attracted the assistant coach on the side to clap and applaud. Bravo! Shi Xiaoyu turned around and smiled at the assistant coach, and raised his hands. That confident smile was enough to infect every audience in front of the TV. In the subsequent duel between Shi Xiaoyu and Quadella at this speed, the camera stopped at the moment of the tackle. Friends in the audience, among the overseas players of our Waxia country in the past, many players could not integrate into the local area. Because of the language barrier, because of their shy and even introverted personalities, they dare not compete with their teammates and make others look down on our Waxia players. However, in the replay just now, Shi Xiaoyu faced a powerful winger like Quadella, and his defense was not soft at all, and the strength of that beautiful sliding tackle was just right, which can be called a textbook demonstration. In the screen, Shi Xiaoyu's voice gradually resounded. I think this is just a normal confrontation between players. Quadella and I have reconciled in the locker room. It's nothing. I still have to learn from him in the future. In this picture taken by Li Wen with her mobile phone, Shi Xiaoyu is carrying a training bag and walking towards the dormitory alone. Of course, the highlight of this special is undoubtedly Shi Xiaoyu's debut in Serie A and the law against Udinese. At 80 minutes, Shi Xiaoyu came on, replacing Quadella as a right winger. At this time, the Udinese team is already a little tired. Montella replaced the extremely fast Shi Xiaoyu at this time. It is a timely adjustment and a targeted substitution. Although it was just a replay, Duan Xuan also practiced the editing screen many times, but when he saw Shi Xiaoyu appearing on stage, he still couldn't hide his inner excitement, and his voice even trembled a little. Shi Xiaoyu got the ball on the wing, facing two corresponding double teams. He actually slipped through the crowd. Shi Xiaoyu cuts inside. He cuts inside. Tony is waving for the ball. Tony's position is very good. Did Shi Xiaoyu pass? He passed to Tony. Tony is about to shoot, a low shot. He was thrown out, and the fans in the audience exclaimed. But Shi Xiaoyu didn't give up. He forked the ball forward at high speed. Shi Xiaoyu shoveled and scored with a supplementary shot. 89 minutes. 89 minutes. Shi Xiaoyu law. Fiorentina beat Udinese 2-1. Shi Xiaoyu brought the team a valuable three-pointer. Those who missed the live broadcast of the game saw this scene, as if they were there. They seemed to be standing among the 40,000 spectators at Frankie Stadium. The audience in front of the TV stood up and shouted. Some are on the subway, some are on the bus, some are in coffee shops, and some are in the office. More people are gathering with family and friends, and they are even more shouting on the sofa. This is the speed of Waxia Kingdom. It is too fast. Shi Xiaoyu is an Asian lightning. He's faster than everyone. They raised the beer bottles in their hands high, and some of them even took off their short sleeves and threw them into the air just like Shi Xiaoyu. This historic moment belongs to Shi Xiaoyu, belongs to Florence. It also belongs to the fans of all Daxia. See Episode 37. Obtain open black lens bracket, violent shooting boots, close black lens bracket. Shi Xiaoyu surprised everyone with his debut in Serie A. The next day, the major headline media in Italy rushed to report the news first. Sky Sports, the genius of Daxia was born, and Fiorentina beat their opponents at home. Football of the day, Montella, life is tough. Gazzetta dello Sport, Shi Xiaoyu, the first Huxia player to play in Serie A in a century. Sports Weekly, with both speed and technology, a winger from Daxia. The Sports Review used 2 pages, with thousands of words, to give a detailed introduction to Shi Xiaoyu. From his birthplace, to his study experience and playing football experience at Waxia University. From the trial training of Fiorentina to the appearance of the Serie A substitute law, I made a comprehensive and detailed review. Shi, you've really become a star in Florence right now. In the team dormitory, Veneto said sourly to Shi Xiaoyu. Veneto didn't play in the last game. He sat dryly on the bench for 90 minutes. Although he is also excited about Shi Xiaoyu's law, but he is not satisfied with himself. Shi Xiaoyu heard Venet's frustration and comforted his old friend. Veneto, don't be impatient. Your position is center forward, and the pressure of competition is greater than mine. You know, in front of you is not only the European Golden Boot Tony, but also the new Eastern European genius Jovetic. I also only played in 80 minutes. I was lucky enough to pick up a law and end the game. Maybe you can also make a law. Veneto shook his head and smiled. Hey, don't talk about law. Last year in the first team, I played a total of 8 games, all of them were substitutes, and I didn't add up to 100 minutes. I only shot 5 goals in total, and I missed 1 goal frame, let alone talk about a goal. This data is indeed a bit rubbish. In fact, for young players like Veneto, the growth environment in Serie A is not friendly. Unlike some leagues, there is more emphasis on the growth of young players. The coaches in Serie A are more conservative, and their tactics tend to be moderate. Under such a conservative tactic, older players have more experience and can make a rational and relative judgment on the situation on the court. In this regard, young players are much worse. Therefore, if young players want to stand out, they must, like Shi Xiaoyu, play the most value in the limited playing time. Shi Xiaoyu is also proud of herself. If he didn't come off the bench to score a law goal, he might not know when he will play next time. After all, Della has a lot of reputation, but he has to beat himself. Congratulations to the host for completing the league debut. Congratulations to the host for completing the first goal of the league. Shi Xiaoyu heard the sound of the system. Your delay is a bit serious. I made my debut yesterday and scored a goal. Now your voice is making noise. Are you cracking your shell? Shi Xiaoyu smiled helplessly. He knows that as long as he completes the milestone progress, the system will reward him. The debut of the league debut and scoring goals can be said to be 2 major milestones, and the system cannot miss it. For the first show in the league, you will be rewarded with a player analysis card. Before the start of the game, the host can bind the analysis card to an opponent. The analysis card will introduce the player's weaknesses in detail, providing an effective reference for the host's attack. Shi Xiaoyu nodded in satisfaction. This card is so useful. The overall level of Udinese players in the last game is not strong, especially the full-backs are very slow, and they are not their opponents at all. If they meet some strong teams, their strong defense can form an effective defense against Shi Xiaoyu. At this time, if you can use the analysis card to bind the opponent's defender, you can analyze the player's weakness and make it easier to attack on the spot. It is also the same principle to hit a snake with 7 inches. Of course, there is only one card, so you can't use it indiscriminately unless you have to. League first goal reward, violent shooting boots. Boom boom boom. There is a knock on the door. Hi Mr. Shi, your courier has arrived. Shi Xiaoyu took a white box from the courier in doubt. Inside is a pair of very ordinary black sneakers. It's just that the shoelaces are a little different, shining with a dark golden luster. Is this the violent shooting boots? It's very ordinary, even the ones in the sporting goods store look better than them. Shi Xiaoyu put on his sneakers. Just when you are tying your shoelaces, the shoelaces tighten automatically. The sneakers are like sponges that hold Shi Xiaoyu's feet firmly. Violent boots, increase shooting power by 20. Shooting accuracy plus 10. Episode 38. Who should start, Shi Xiaoyu or praise Della? Shi Xiaoyu's calf muscles twitched, and his whole leg was full of strength. He lowered his head and looked at his feet. This pair of sneakers fit tightly on his feet, as if they were custom-made for his own star. Veneto, who has a lot of research on sneakers, also squatted at Shi Xiaoyu's feet and began to study this pair of sneakers. Huh? Your pair of shoes is quite old. According to my personal research on sneakers, this pair of shoes is not sold in the market. Veneto poked the leather surface of the sneakers with his black fingers. It's very soft, it should be made of kangaroo skin, not bad. Shi Xiaoyu smiled without saying a word. He didn't care about the brand of the sneakers, or whether they were made of kangaroo leather. All he knew was that his shooting power had risen to 90 now. The shooting accuracy is also 78. Shi Xiaoyu. Height, 1.78 meters. Weight, 67 kilograms. Age, 18. Speed, 99. Strength, 90. Stamina, 82. Shots, 78 passes, 91 dribbles, 80. Balance, 70. Vision, 62. Bounce, 54. Overall evaluation, Serie A star level. In the overall evaluation, the word star is added. In other words, Shi Xiaoyu was just an ordinary player who could play in Serie A before, but now his level is already at the upper end among Serie A players. Even in a club like Fiorentina, he can be called a well-deserved top player. After playing Udinese, Montella gave the team a day off. During the days off, Shi Xiaoyu still wakes up to train in the morning. However, he found that the increase in training experience only existed before the summer training, so he didn't get up at 5 o'clock like before. Next Saturday, at 3 p.m., the team will play away against Naples. In the 3 days of training before the game, Montella focused on rehearsing the team's defensive counterattack. Naples is a strong Serie A team, they have superstar players like Cavani Hamsik. Moreover, Naples' home stadium, San Paolo Stadium, has always been famous for its fanatical fans in the history of football. That's a Devils' home court. Even the top 3 in the north will have to shed a layer of skin when they come here. For Montella, facing such a strong team in the second round of the league is also a big test. The day before the game, Montella looks sad. The reason is that the right winger starts, whether he chooses to praise Della or Shi Xiaoyu. As a young coach, Montella was more aggressive. He believes that since Shi Xiaoyu showed a very good competitive state in the last game, it is time to strike while the iron is hot. It's better to let him start this game to see if he can continue his good state. But assistant coach Herrera doesn't think so. Eliro is a grey-haired coach, a typical Italian conservative tactical master. In the coach's office, Herrera crossed his hands, leaned against the wall, and said to Montella sitting at the table, "To play against a strong team like Naples, we need an experienced player to act as a counterattack point on the right. In my opinion, the first choice is still Della." Montella frowned. It's not good to say that Della played more games. He played on the right without any rules. He only cared about his own strength and didn't cooperate effectively with his teammates. On the other hand, Shi Xiaoyu, the situation where he was revived immediately after playing, and the cooperation between him and Tony had a good understanding. I think Shi Xiaoyu should be the starter. Herrera disagrees with Montella's rebuttal. Mr. Montella, in my nearly 30 years of teaching, I have seen too many young players who have a flash of inspiration. I'm not saying that Shi Xiaoyu is not strong enough. You know, Della was mostly in the last season, but he played the main position in Lecce for a whole year. His understanding of Serie A is even richer. Shi Xiaoyu has just arrived and is only 18 years old. You also said before the start of the season that Shi Xiaoyu is positioned as Della's substitute. If a main player, just because of a bad performance in one game, we take his starter, or even hide him. Is it really good? In my opinion, if the team wants to win steadily, the framework of the main players must be clear. Herrera is like a machine gun, and said a lot, in order to let Della start more. Montella got up and walked to the tactical board, looking at the formation diagram on it. Herrera, you mean that Cuadrado is still the right winger, as the first point of attack in the counterattack? Let Shi Xiaoyu be his substitute. Herrera nodded heavily and added. Della is not only fast, but also has a violent long shot at the front of the penalty area. Napoli are a possession-based team and it is very difficult for us to get shots in the penalty area. So, whether it is a counterattack or a positional battle, we need a player with long-range shooting ability at the front of the penalty area. This player must be Cuadrado. Montella put his hands in his trouser pockets, looking at the 4,231 lineup drawn up on the tactical board, thoughtful. Episode 39 Exaggerating Della's tricks, will Shi Xiaoyu be plotted against? As a young coach, although Montella does not have rich coaching experience. But in terms of playing qualifications, he is much better than assistant coach Herrera. Montella won the Serie A championship and scored more than 100 league goals. And Herrera has been in Serie B all his career. Although Montella agrees with some of Herrera's views, Montella, as a striker, trusts his instincts more. Especially when he looks at offensive players, he can always see the potential behind the players at a glance. He always felt that, compared to Cuadrado, Shi Xiaoyu from Daxia exudes a mysterious aura. This mysterious atmosphere is something he has never seen before in other players. Could it be the metaphysical culture from the Far East? It's a bit evil. Montella couldn't figure it out himself. Regarding the starting list, he already had a conclusion in his mind. Shi, against Naples, you will start on the right side. After training the day before the game, when the starting lineup was announced, Montella solemnly announced it in front of the whole team. Everyone was in an uproar and looked at Shi Xiaoyu one after another. Some people believe that Shi Xiaoyu performed well in the last game, not only with outstanding personal skills, but also with a good sense of cooperation. Starting this game is the due reward for the wonderful performance in the last game. Others, especially the old players in midfield, including Peruvian midfielder Pizarro, hold the same view as assistant coach Herrera. That is to say that Della has more experience and is more suitable for him to play in a strong team. As for Cuadrado, his face has rotted to the color of a pig's liver. What's the meaning? I just didn't play well in one game and you took me down as the starter. Cuadrado cursed Montella in his heart. Although he was not convinced, the Colombian still didn't dare to confront the head coach face to face, he could only feel upset. Shi Xiaoyu smiled slightly, looking confident. Tomorrow I will start the game, let you see what a violent shot is. Shi Xiaoyu originally thought that as long as he proved himself on the court, he would be able to suppress Cuadrado's arrogance. But Cuadrado is more sinister than Shi Xiaoyu imagined. Who is Cuadrado? He grew up in a slum in South America, and he became a professional player in the street fights and drug fights. Don't admit defeat. Cuadrado is the kind of person who will not bow his head until death. If it was another game, he might just stay on the bench honestly. But this game is against Naples. Naples' main left midfielder is Zuniga. Who is Zuniga? He is also Colombian. He and Cuadrado are close friends in the national team. The two are in Italy together, and they went out with each other during the holidays. It can be said that the relationship is very good. Because Zuniga is a little older and has been in Serie A for a longer time, he claims to be the big brother who praises Della. The two are also called brothers. The Fiorentina team arrived in Naples by train. In the hotel, Cuadrado ran to the toilet alone and called Zuniga. Hey, brother Zuniga, where are you? What a little brother, what's wrong with Della? I'm preparing for tomorrow's game. Tomorrow, will you start the game? Zuniga's hearty laughter came from the other end of the phone. Just kidding, what level is your elder brother? It's a must to start every game. I'm not only starting the game, but I also have to play against me. Tomorrow's game, I guess I can pass you more than 10 times, ha 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 ha. Cuadrado resisted the anger in his heart, lowered his voice and added damping. I won't start tomorrow. My starting position was taken away by an 18-year-old kid from Daxia. What, you don't start? Damper looked surprised. An 18-year-old kid in Waxia Kingdom, what's going on? I don't understand. Don't worry about what's going on. Brother, listen to me. Tomorrow's game, you must not be merciful to that kid from Waxia Kingdom. Do you understand what I mean? You have to shine the studs, just step on his knees and ankles, he is injured, I have a chance to be in the top position. Zuniga was stunned when he heard that. No way, brother, I know what level you are. This season, Fiorentina specially loaned you here to prepare for your buyout next year. Even if you are not in good form, you won't be robbed of your position by an 18-year-old Waxia kid. I heard that Daxia's football level is very poor. Can their country produce a football genius? I don't believe it. Don't worry too much, maybe the coach just wants to take the opportunity to beat you, and you will be the starter for the next game. Zuniga has rich football experience, and with his own experience, he helped Cure Della analyze more. Praise Della too much but let out a long sigh. Hey, this kid is still a little level. It's hard to describe in words. Anyway, big brother, you have to take care of it for me. Seeing that his little brother insisted again and again, Zuniga agreed. That's fine, but you can make an agreement. If I get a red card because of messing with him, I will pay for all the NEN models in nightclubs in the second half of this year. Don't worry, don't talk about the women in nightclubs, this matter has to be settled for me, I'll get you all the Italian Miss Worlds. Episode 40 playing the first half like a flying game. Shi Xiaoyu attaches great importance to this game. This is the first time he has started for Fiorentina since he came to the Italian Serie A. Montella deliberately announced this in front of everyone, which is of great significance. Just to beat herself, Shi Xiaoyu understood in her heart. He is now wearing violent shooting boots, and his shooting power and shooting accuracy have improved a lot. He has set a small goal for himself in this game. That is to continue the momentum of scoring goals. Only when the team has a stable output can the head coach continue to trust himself. The San Paolo Stadium in Naples is a very old stadium. Although it can accommodate 60,000 people, its facilities are relatively old, and the brick surface of the outer wall is even a little mottled. Even when the players of the two teams were waiting to enter the field with their ball boys in the tunnel, Shi Xiaoyu even smelled a smell of urine in the tunnel. Zuniga looked at Shi Xiaoyu from the sidelines, his eyes full of provocation. Hey, you are Shi? Be careful in this game. Shi Xiaoyu answered with a smile. He has now developed a kind of disposition, no matter on or off the court, he can respond with a smile to the provocations of others. Then fight back with strength, proving that the person who laughed at himself is indeed a fool. The St. Paul Stadium is indeed a fanatical stadium. The security check here is fake. As soon as the game started, the fans started setting off fireworks in the stands with their own fireworks. Even though it's only 3 p.m. But the gorgeous fireworks have turned the sky above the St. Paul Stadium into a golden ocean. The thick smoke drifted down, making the players on the field unable to open their eyes. But the referee didn't mean to stop. After all, this is the tradition of the San Paolo Stadium. In this game, the Naples team had the home court advantage and used high pressure at the beginning. The Fiorentina team couldn't pass the ball in the backcourt and was intercepted by the Naples team. Naples adopted a pass and control tactic, and their defenders and midfielders had a tacit understanding, back and forth, in order to draw out Fiorentina's formation, so as to find open passes. But Florence also has tricks to deal with it. They resolutely implemented Montella's tactics of counter-defense and counterattack, retreated to the half-court, and never crossed the half-court to grab the ball from Naples. Several members of Naples' defense line saw that Florence hadn't come out, so they understood the opponent's intention to stick to it. Under the command of Naples coach, Mazzarri, Naples' defense started to move forward in order to send the ball to the front of the Fiorentina penalty area and put more pressure on the goal. It's just that in this game, Fiorentina's goalkeeper Viviano seemed to be on the hook, high and low. No matter how tricky the shot is, he can always save the day. Only flour, no fruit. This is the dilemma faced by the Naples team in the first half. During the intermission, the TV screen showed Naples had 13 shots and 8 shots were on target. And Fiorentina didn't shoot at half-time. The ball possession is also 7-3, and Naples has a crushing advantage. This game was also being broadcast by Waxia TV Media. Many new fans, hearing Shi Xiaoyu's name for the first time, expressed their views on the halftime in the live broadcast room. What are you playing? The Fiorentina team is too bad, it seems like a halftime drill. Yeah, the opponent has 13 shots, and the Fiorentina team has none. If you continue to fight like this, you will be beaten into a sieve sooner or later in the second half. Some netizens pointed the finger at Shi Xiaoyu. Shi Xiaoyu's name doesn't match the reality, and I haven't seen him perform brilliantly. I feel that this person was promoted by the media, and he doesn't have the ability to play in Serie A at all. I can assure you that this is definitely forced by some domestic sponsor. Absolutely, if not, I'll stand upside down and drink the foot-washing water. Netizens are also 100% dissatisfied with coach Montella. This game played like this is the coach's problem. Montella's tactics are very conservative, it shouldn't be, he didn't play like this when he was a player. When I came to the away game of a strong team, I just wanted to stick to it, and I could only be beaten into a sieve in the end. Montella is still too young. What is too young, is too cowardly. How can Montella beat Mazzarri? He is an old fritter in Serie A, and the young Montella still has to pay his tuition. Actually, it's not just Shi Xiaoyu. The entire Fiorentina team played very conservatively in the first half. But the so-called layman watches the fun, and the insider watches the way. During the 15-minute break, Montella addressed the players in the dressing room. "Well done, lads. In the first half, Napoli's wild attack was fruitless, and they must be more impatient in the second half. As long as they press forward enough, the more space we have to counterattack. When defending and counterattacking, our wingers' speed can be brought into play even more." Montella looked at Shi Xiaoyu and told him, "You did a good job in the first half. The help defense on the right prevented him from passing high-quality crosses. In the second half, I ask you to press forward a little bit, mainly to catch the space between their full-backs and central backs. Remember, once you counterattack, you will always be the first to hit the ball. Because you have speed.